Hey, everybody. Thank you for tuning in again. My name is Andrew Alvarez. I'm the Latino Conservative. We're going to talk about the number 22 a little bit. So for those of you on my YouTube channel here, thank you for joining me. For those of you on my TikTok, thank you for joining me. Hey, there's this little circle right up in that area that if you want to click on that and check out these little letters. I don't want to, mess up the TikTok algorithm, but there's these little words and letters in this thing called a bio. If you want to click on those, by all means, go do that. On my Instagram over here, hey, I'm doing my podcast, my political podcast over here. My name is Andrew Alvarez. I'm the Latino Conservative. So the reason why I'm doing my political podcast and my personal is because I kind of changed the name of my the Latino Conservative on accident to my campaign name, which, it's no biggie. I've got a lot of content on there that I'm going to use for my campaign. For those of you joining me who haven't heard yet, I've kind of done a soft launch. Haven't made it official to the Republican parties that are local yet, but I'm running for Congress in the Houston area. District 9 to be specific. But that's not what this is about. You can find a link if you want to find out more about that. There's in the description. But let's talk about the number 22. That is one thing that I also really, really harped on during my campaign, is the number 22. It's an important number to me. For those of y'all who don't know, the number 22 is a number of veterans who decide that it's time to finish their journey here on Earth. It's a horrible thing, horrible. 22 veterans do that. So what I wanted to do is, first off, I've got a document here with a graphic that has the number 2, the helpline. And let me pull it up here. I'm sorry I don't have this up right off. This one right here. 800-662-HELP. Anyone out there that needs any help, that is feeling those urges to just not continue their journey here on Earth, give that number a call. Again, 800-662-HELP. There's 22 veterans out there every single day that are just done. And that's the end of it. Now, I bring this up because one thing that's important to me is mental health. We all got our demons that we fight every single day. We fight those every single day, and some people manage those differently. I know I personally have demons myself, not as extreme as most people, but my demons, they are personal to me, and I take those very seriously, because at one point in time I was really bad. Lost my mom, lost my dad, lost my sister, like all within the span of like maybe 2 years. And my girlfriend at the time decided, when my dad passed away, it's a good time to dump him. So yeah, I was really down in the dumps for a while. Thank goodness for actual treatment out there. I was able to overcome that. And though some of those demons try to come back every now and then, it's just, you learn with proper treatment, you learn how to deal with those and you learn how to cope. And somebody out there right now that I love very much, it's not in like, it is having to deal with some stuff right now. And my prayers go out to her. It's just, because I know I've dealt with stuff, not on that level, but still, everybody has their own thing that they're dealing with. Everybody has their own way to cope. Another thing that you can look at, if you go to this website here, samhsa.gov. If you go to that website, there's resources that you can utilize for your mental health. Check with your company as well. My company that I work for, my full-time job, has a great program that offers counseling, that offers assistance like that. Take advantage of those. Mental health is physical health as well. I do a lot of walking personally. That's how I cope. Is I go for a walk. And I see these videos on TikTok about different police encounters and whatnot, even though I've never had like a police encounter go bad or anything like that. It's always been real professional because, I've been professional too. But I've always like pictured being pulled over while I was walking in the middle of the night. Hey, while you're walking, for my health, my physical and my mental health. That's just how I cope. I walk. I clear my thought. It reminds me of when I was little, when me and my dad used to go walking. Actually, me, my dad, my brother. Sometimes my niece and nephew would go out there too. My dad would have us out there doing karate and stuff in the middle of the night, learning how to fight in case, something ever happened. We would always prepare for the bad guy that would jump out of the bushes and try to attack us. So it kind of brings me back to that, just releasing myself during that walk. I do that a lot. So I just wanted to bring those up to point. Again, 800-662-HELP is the word. 800-662-HELP. Before I move on, I got to plug because I do this show every Tuesday and Wednesday. I didn't do it yesterday because of the State of Union address, but I do this every Tuesday and Wednesday now, and I am not funded at all. So if you know of any sponsors that want to sponsor the Latino Conservative, by all means, please do. But in the meantime, what you can do to help, you can help me and help you. Go to the LatinoConservative.com. Right at the top, there's this banner. Chime. Click here and we can both get $100. What you do is you sign up for a credit builder credit account, and you can basically build your credit. I built mine up by 100 points. With today's economy, who doesn't need good credit? It's hard to get. What this does, it's a secure credit card that you build up your credit limit with your direct deposit. The more you use it, the better you are. It has been a savior for me when it comes to credit. I was able to finance a car. Me, a guy in the car business, had trouble financing a car because I've never had good credit. I had bad credit before I even got out of high school. I still got old cable bills in my name from when I was like 17 years old. They don't count against me or anything like that. But still, you get my point. I've had to fight for those before. But this is a way for people to help. Go to the LatinoConservative.com. Click on the anchor link. Another way you can do is Cash App. $ Latino Conservative. Hook me up there if you want. Helps me keep that little thing because that's just a webcam, and I've got this phone bill that I got to pay, and I got this one right here that I got to pay too. So, hook a brother up. So, let's get into the meat and potatoes of this. The good thing. So, what happened yesterday? Let me tell you what happened yesterday. We all know what happened yesterday. It's the State of the Union. I didn't watch it. I didn't feel like watching it because I knew it was going to be the lies of the Union. That's all it was going to be. It was going to be the State of the Union address was going to be two things. It was going to be full of lies, and it was going to be full of divisiveness. New York Post has a story up there. 6 lies Biden will tell in his State of the Union. Now, first off, you couldn't find the clip. I was scrolling through TikTok, and I found a clip. If any Republican wants to put a cap on, I will veto it. he did his standard flivida, and I will veto it. He did that. Democrats were ecstatic. Yeah, woo! They were all up in arms about it, well, except for John Fetterman. Dude was crashed out. I'm not sure if you saw that. Again, I can't find that picture here on YouTube or on the internet, but I was scrolling through TikTok over here and found it. I don't know why. They just hide stuff like that. Media hides stuff like that. It's a Section 230 or 240 that they like to do. By the way, if you're here on TikTok, hit that like. There's just keep pounding it. Double tap it if you want. Drop me a rose or something like that too. Hey, if you're here on YouTube, drop me a like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff that you know how to do. But either way, so let's get into about it. Let's get about it with this State of the Union. Biden has reduced the budget deficit. I have reduced the budget deficit by $1.4 trillion. Malarkey. Now, mind you, I didn't actually listen to the State of the Union, so I don't know what actually happened. I didn't want to. My good friend said, hey, since you're running for Congress now, you should probably listen to that. aaforcongress.com, by the way. But, it's just, I can't believe anything he says. So let's say reduce the deficit by 1.4 trillion. No, we are at the spending limit cap. Congress has yet to vote on either one, increasing that cap, or two, decreasing our spending, which is the best option to do. If you want to, actually, let me rephrase that. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result. Congress constantly voting to increase the spending limit is just going to put us in a bigger deficit. Here's what needs to happen. And if I win in Congress, which I'm running against, I will potentially run against a Democrat that has been in there for almost 20 years. In fact, this election cycle will make his 20th year. I would make sure, and I would introduce legislations that if there is a government shutdown, Congress doesn't get shut down. Congress doesn't get paid. Both houses, the House and the Senate, will not get paid. There's a couple other policies out there, but you know what? Check back for those. I've got those. I'm going to put those on my website. How do I fix the VA, for example? But either way, if we're spending and constantly voting to raise our debt ceiling, that's going to not fix anything. It's going to make anything worse. Because what happens whenever somebody gets a credit card? They make a few payments on it. Their credit limit goes up. And guess what? They're going to use it more. Pretty soon, they're going to make a couple payments on it again. They're going to spend more money on it. Next thing you know, they're going to get approved to get a $10,000 credit limit on their credit card. They're going to spend all $10,000 and they're not going to be able to get out of that debt. With interest rates, not to mention that the interest alone on our debt right now, it's just atrocious. It is atrocious how high it is, how much I am going to have to pay out of my pocket because these representatives, these senators, our president, passed as well. They've screwed us over. They keep talking about how Republicans want to do away with Social Security. Well, damn, it's going to be gone by the time I get in there anyway. By the time I get to use my Social Security, it's going to be diminished. It's going to be gone. It's just going to be like, it's non-existent. But they're going to keep trying to draw from it to increase our debt ceiling, to increase payments to this, that, or the other. And all they're doing that now is using Social Security and Medicare, Medicaid. They're using those as political talking points, and I'm sick and tired of it. I mentioned in my introduction speech, Congress is broken because all they're doing is just perpetuating spending. The next thing that NYP says is Biden inherited an economy in free fall. Now let's break that down a little bit. And I will say it this way. Eggs. Have you bought eggs recently? I have. because I'm on a strict diet right now because of health reasons. That's a whole different topic for a whole different video. But eggs, they are good for me. Whereas previously I would spend a couple dollars on a dozen of eggs. Now I'm spending $6. If I want to go buy a dozen and a half, it's $8. It's atrocious. That's a good economy according to the Democrats. According to President Joe Biden, that is a great economy. The only people that are benefiting right now are the people that are already rich, because we're still feeding them money, more money than we ever have before. Through a Democratic-led administration, this divide between rich and poor has gone up and increased exponentially. Other things, Biden has brought down gas prices. Well, we know that's BS. That is like saying, I am going to break something so I can fix it, and I can say that I fixed it. I did it good. Biden is doing all he can to secure the border. You hear that dead silence there? That is another BS. I think Biden has been to the border one time. Kamala Harris, none. She went past the border. She went to a different country. Okay, I get it. She did a little work. She went to go see the Latinos. But I've been to the border more times in a year than she has been ever. I went there for work. I'll have to tell the story again one time how I was almost on an episode of Border Wars because I was right there at the river where there was no wall in McAllen, Texas. I saw a Border Patrol helicopter come up from behind the trees that bordered the river, went into attack position, kind of like where it went head down, and I heard automatic fire from the other side of the river. Yeah. I couldn't walk very well back then because I had knee problems, and this Mexican was running. Border security. It's lacking. And that's all they have on their page. Oh, I'm sorry. Hold on. Biden is increasing domestic oil gas production. Well, we know that is another falsehood. But what he did say, allude to, was something along the lines of, we're going to use American lumber. Imagine what the people in California are thinking after that. We're going to use American steel. Well, guess what? We use fossil fuels to make the steel. Ain't no sun-powered, solar-powered, wind-powered, Tesla-powered energy bank going to melt and smelt that steel into the beams that we need for construction. No, that is all fossil fuel power. Now, a couple methods that they use to smelt and to refine that steel is, one way is through electricity, but they use coal or gas to power a generator that produces an electric bolt. The bolt is what melts the steel. That's it. Everything else in the process is fossil fuel. We cannot get rid of fossil fuels. In fact, if I win Congress, I will fight to keep fossil fuels going because it's clean. We have the cleanest fossil fuel production here in the United States than anywhere else in the world. We can find renewable sources, hydrogen, ethanol, alcohol. We can figure out how to do that. And nuclear. I know that word seems all scary because of what Russia's trying to do, but nuclear is a good way to go too. It's clean, guys. It's clean. And that's what we're trying to do, right? So on to the next story. I've got a YouTube video here that I'm going to play. It is sparks fly during vote to knock Rep. Ilhan Omar off foreign affairs policy. Let's watch this video here.
And you all and the Republican caucus rewarded him with one of the most prestigious committee assignments in this Congress. Don't tell me this is about consistency. Don't tell me that this is about an a condemnation of anti-Semitic remarks when you have a member of the Republican caucus who has talked about Jewish space lasers and an entire amount of tropes, and also elevated her to some of the highest committee assignments in this body. This is about targeting women of color in the United States of America. Don't tell me, because I didn't get a single apology when my life was threatened. Thank you.
So that goes on further. That video is actually about 20 minutes long, and I'm not going to sit through that. But the point is, did you see how she was like raising her hand? She's all hype. Hype. AOC is hype. She's ready to go. She's fighting for equality. She's fighting for diversity, equity, and inclusion, because Ilhan Omar didn't marry her brother. Wait a minute. Yeah, I said that. Anti-Semitic. Ilhan Omar is anti-Semitic. It's been confirmed already. She's made anti-Jewish comments. It's just her religion. Nothing against most Muslims. There are the radical Muslims out there, though. One of my best friends in the world, I don't ever get to talk to her. Great person. I've known her since I worked at Spherion way back in the day. She's Muslim. Great person. One of the finest people I know. She's not anti-Semitic. Not like Ilhan Omar. Same person that married her brother and like somebody else just so she can get her brother over illegally and do like whatever kind of benefits. You all know the story. I don't need to go into that. But AOC, you see how she was hyped up there? And let's take a look back at and say that the Republicans are racist. Got two people right in the camera's view. Great. Good job. Good theatrics. That's one thing AOC is very good at. She's very good at theatrics. I love her theatrics. You know, just like my friend Bill loves Hillary Clinton because she is like fire and whatnot. I kind of got a crush on AOC. I hate her policies, though, with the exception of one, which was her issues with medical prices, you know, medicine, as far as what they're being charged here in the United States compared to other countries. Same medicines. But either way, I digress. Great photo op, though, don't you think? She was campaigning. She knows campaign season is starting. As soon as they get re-sworn in to Congress for that year, they start campaigning. They go into campaign mode. She's got to get her donors back in base. And the reason why I know that is because I'm doing the same thing. While I didn't get sworn into Congress, I lost my last election, but I'm getting started now because it's going to be a big run. She might have gotten wind of somebody that might be running against her. Either way, so next story, moving right along. I found this one on wow. Wasn't it just like a couple months ago they were calling Governor Greg Abbott like racist, xenophobic, and all those other terms that they made up and brought to light because he was taking migrants from Texas over to New York to Washington, D.C. He's taking them to Canada now. He's taking them out of the freaking country. Isn't that considered trafficking? I wonder. Taking them to warmer states. Okay, I can see that New York sucks when it comes to weather in the wintertime. I get that. Although I do want to go visit in the springtime. I do want to go there, but what in the world is going on with that? You know, pot kettle hypocrisy at its finest. You've got one governor of a state that was calling out as much as he can, the governor of Texas. Governor, I don't know what Adams is. He's governor or mayor of New York, one of the two. I don't get into New York politics, but calling Governor Abbott every single name he could that was a buzzword because he was sending migrants from Texas to New York, to Illinois, to wherever. And he's doing the same thing. How does that work out? How does that make sense? Politics at its finest, making a political move and saying the other person can't do it, but I'm going to do it because I can. Isn't that something? So guys, again, thank you for letting me rant and rave at you today. Sorry I got a little bit of a late start. Had a little camera malfunctions here, right there. See, yeah, I'm talking to you. Again, let me remind y'all, if y'all want, please, I would appreciate any Andrew Alvarez. Appreciate y'all for everything y'all do. Drop me some love. Drop me some comments. Thank y'all.